Dear friends, welcome to today's lecture. Since last lecture, we have been discussing the concept of problem play, and our main topic was drama and its types. In the discussion, we saw that the concept of problem play is a modern phase of the drama. That is the turning point in the journey of drama in 19th century. We saw that up to the Shakespearean dramas, the drama was reserved only for the high class people, the royal people, and the traditional drama highlighted the lifestyle of the rich class of people, and they deliberately ignored the common people of the society. The traditional drama was for fun and entertainment only. We did not find a scope for a realism or social touch in the dramas of Shakespeare. So, the drama before the arrival of problem play was just a piece of entertainment. It believed in art for art's sake, means art is just for fun and entertainment. But with the arrival of Henrik Ibsen, the face of drama totally changed in the beginning of the 19th century. The concept problem play totally changed the face of drama in the modern times. Traditionally, drama had no social touch. It highlighted only the high class people. But the problem play brought drama on the ground in the sense that it touched the hearts of the common people. For the first time in the history of drama, the common people becoming the characters in the story of the play. Traditionally, the most of the characters were from the royal families, from the rich families. But now, the common characters can be found in the stories of problem play. That was a big change in the journey of drama. As you know that the concept of drama was totally changed with the arrival of problem play. We also discussed how problem play is called as a thesis play or discussion play. Discussion in the sense that a burning social problem, a burning social issue is discussed on the stage realistically. The problem play is also called comedy of ideas. Here, ideas means the problem, the concept. Some idea is taken by the dramatist and presented on the stage. And we know that the concept was born in, that is the problem play concept was born in first in the country of France and later on spread in the whole Europe, and it almost occupied the drama all over the world, and it got a very popularity in England. And in England, it was introduced by Henry Arthur Jones and Mr. Pinero. And as we discussed that the three great superstars of problem play like G.B. Shaw, John Galsworthy, right, and Henrik Ibsen. These three superstars created a disturbance in the society by creating many sensational problem plays. Sensational in the sense that they challenged the age-old, outdated customs, right? So they changed the outlook of the people with the help of their problem plays. As we know that problem play, the name itself clearly indicates a play which deals with some problem. The dramatist observes the society, right? And if the dramatist finds some social problem, some individual problem of some particular group, that social problem is taken as a foundation of the story, and the dramatist presents that idea, that problem in the form of story without any kind of change made by the dramatist. So it is called as a realistic play also. Realism is shown on the stage. We don't find any kind of imagination in problem play. The story moves around problem, problem, and problem only. Right? So the social problems like prostitution, slum area, that is inadequate housing, unemployment, labor exploitation, and many such burning issues were discussed on the stage through problem play. So drama uh, did not remain, does not remain just a piece of entertainment, but it became as a uh, medium of propaganda, medium of propaganda, advertisements like that. So we can say that many local and universal issues have been discussed by problem play successfully. Take for example, Mrs. Warren's Profession. In this drama, G.B. Shaw speaks about prostitution, a very delicate social problem. And as we know that the prostitutes are not respected by the society, but G.B. Shaw presents a second side of this profession, and it created a thought-provoking emotions in the mind of the people, right? So people got know that these prostitutes, they are also the human beings, right? So we should change our attitudes towards them. So that is the success of the problem play, right? So solving a problem is not the intention, or let's say the aim of the problem play, right? Just to highlight that problem is the aim of the problem play. To have public awareness about that problem is the aim of that problem play. Problem play never suggests any kind of solution at the end of the drama. No solution is given by the dramatist. According to G.B. Shaw, Galsworthy, that what is the duty of a dramatist? The duty of a dramatist is just to highlight a problem on the stage, and it is up to the audience. It is the responsibility of the audience to think over the problem and try to find out the solution, right, with the help of a discussion among themselves. So it is not the responsibility of the dramatist to suggest a solution over a problem at the end of a drama. So indirectly, a problem play appeals to the audience to think over the problem, discuss that problem among themselves. Among themselves means friends, relatives, right, like that, and try to find out the solution by their own. So it is the responsibility of the audience, it is the responsibility of the society to find a solution over that problem. So that's the methodology of a problem play. So we find that most of the problem plays, they do not provide any kind of solution at the end. For example, Man and Superman, right? The apple cart, which is Man's profession, right? Strife. These plays do not suggest any kind of solution or remedy at the end of the play. So the total face of a drama is changed in the modern period. And art for art's sake, this statement is changed. Art for art's sake, this statement is changed. And the modern dramatists like G.B. Shaw, they changed its motto, and now art for not art's sake, but art for the sake of society. Right. So the problem play writers changed the concept of drama in the modern period. They brought drama from the valley of entertainment to the platform of social criticism. Social criticism. The dramatists selected a single problem and they tried to criticize that problem. Criticize in the sense, try to present that problem in detail. In detail. So, this is a very unique technique by the dramatists. Ibsen, Shaw, Galsworthy have written such plays to direct public attention to social evils, social problems, and wrong attitudes. Right. So, art for art's sake, this concept has been changed in art for the sake of society. Right. So, the technique we discussed, the beginners, that is Jones and Mr. Pinero, these two introduced the concept of problem play in England towards the end of the 19th century. Right? These playwrights were influenced by Henrik Ibsen. So Henrik Ibsen is the father of problem play. And the plays of Henrik Ibsen just shaped the minds of the people in Norway. So the plays of Ibsen were so sensitive that Ibsen's plays are still regarded as bombs. Right? As you know that bombs, if exploded, destroys each and everything around it. In the same way, whenever Ibsen's dramas, social dramas, problem plays are displayed on the stage, it destroyed the misunderstandings in the minds of the audience. Right? It challenged the outdated social customs. So Ibsen has the credit of it. What happens? Jones' problem plays like Saints and Sinners and Mrs. Dane's Defense, right? In Ivan's words, the work of cobbler who has never mastered his tools, right? So these are the beginning. This is the beginning of the problem play. And when the problem play was in its initial stage, it was touched by George Bernard Shaw. So we can say that Ibsen's art of writing problem play was sharpened by G.B. Shaw and Galsworthy. George Bernard Shaw created his own style of writing dramas, that is problem play, and these dramas are called Shavian dramas. Shavian dramas, right? And G.B. Shaw presented many ideas on the stage. his plays are called intellectual plays, plays of ideas. Intellectual means philosophical, right? And he challenged most of the outdated customs on the stage, right? So we can say that Ibsen's influence is there on Shaw. Ibsen's influence is there on the Shaw, right? Shaw's problem plays amply shows his consuming moral intensity. He has been well called by Ward the Knight of the Burning Pencil, a crusader whose appointed life work was the endeavor to restore color and light and joy to England's once green pleasant land. So it means that Shaw used his pen, used his dramas to restore the glory of England, the glory of England. So drama became the medium of social protest, social criticism. Shaw does this kind of shifting to separate the husk from the grain. Right? Almost in every such place, his intention seems to be stand popular beliefs upside down. So he challenges popular beliefs. For example, his drama, The Apple Cart, as what is a popular belief? Popular belief is that democracy is better than other type of governments, right? As you know that India is the biggest democracy after America, right? So we call democracy as the government by the people, of the people, for the people, right? But this notion, this feeling is challenged by G.B. Shaw in the drama The Apple Cart. He shows in Apple Cart the problem of democracy. G.B. Shaw shows that in Apple Cart that democracy is also full of problems, full of faults. And in the Apple Cart, he shows the clash between the Prime Minister, that is democracy, and the King of England, that is autocracy. In the story, what happens? The Prime Minister is a corrupt person, and the King is a non-corrupt person, honest person, right? So the Prime Minister tries to use his rights for the benefits of some industrialists, to which the king opposes. The king tries to safeguard the rights of the people, but on the other hand, the elected prime minister, who is very corrupt, tries to safeguard the rights and the benefits of the industrialists. So that's it. That's the same thing we are witnessing in the most of the democratic countries, including India today. The point is that Shaw tells us that if the leaders in democracy are not sincere, are not honest, then this kind of democracy is useless. Is useless. But if, on the other hand, if the traditional king is honest, right, sincere, and has a concern for the people, then this king is better than the elected prime minister. This is the change. This is the faults pointed out by G.B. Shaw in the story. So he tries to present the faults in the democracy in the story, the Apple Cart. So though it's a problem play related to democracy, right? So he challenges such kind of popular beliefs in his dramas, and that's why the plays of Shaw are still popular, and he is considered as next to Shakespeare. Next to Shakespeare, right? So truth is generally ugly. So ugly truth is presented on the stage without any change by the dramatists. So the problem play are the most realistic form of dramas in the history of literature, and shows we can rarely have the function of making it acceptable. These dialogues, Shaw's dialogues, are full of arguments, full of wit, right, and full of truth also. So the problems like slum landlordism, right? Uh, his next drama is widowers' houses. That the problem of slum dwelling is presented over there. The drama Mrs. Parent's Profession is about the evil of prostitution, right? The apple cart, the drama, is about the problem of democracy. The play Pygmalion is about the problem of language. The play Pygmalion has been translated into Marathi under the title Pi Fularani. Right. So the apple cart is there for a very fine example. Right. Arms and the Man, the text that we are going to study after the discussion. This is also a very fine drama by G.P. Shaw. Right. And Arms and the Man, it is a satire on the popular notions about love and war. Right. So the problem of love, problem of loyalty, problem of war. Right. We know that love, loyalty, war, these things are glorified in our minds. Right. We respect love, we respect loyalty, we respect war also, we respect soldiers. Right. But on the other hand, the reality has been shown by the dramatist, and it challenges these concepts of love, loyalty, and war. Right? Later on, Man and the Superman. Right? This was a very fine play by G.P. Shaw. Right? His play Saint John. Right? It's also one of the fine examples. So the journey of problem play was successfully pushed forward by another dramatist, that is John Galsworthy. John Galsworthy's uh, plays are, let's say, more realistic than that of the Shaw. G.P. Shaw's dramas are realistic, but they are presented in the form of philosophy, right? So a special argumentative type of dialogues are there in the dramas of Shaw, but we don't find such kind of things in John Galsworthy's dramas. John Galsworthy's dramas are very simple, and we don't find arguments, wit in his dialogues. Right? So, wit is there, humor is there, and the intellectual sharpness is there in the dramas of Galsworthy. Galsworthy is famous for his play, that is Strife. It is a conflict between the striking workers and the factory owners. Strife. Strife deals how the factory owners are exploiting the innocent and ignorant, uneducated factory laborers. And this strife, the theme and the story of strife can be seen even today, happening in most of the industrial areas. So, John Galsworthy expresses his sympathy and support for the poor factory laborers and demands justice and equality. Equality in the sense in the sharing of profit. So the poor factory worker should be allowed to have some share of the profit enjoyed by the industrialists. That's it. That is the simple thing highlighted by the dramatist in the present drama. So the play strife is followed by the skin game. It is a struggle between old aristocrats and the newly rich industrialists. Struggle for power, struggle for money. His next drama, that is Justice and the Silver Box, represent the evils of law. So the problem of court and court proceedings have been suggested in the play, that is Justice and the Silver Fox. And it is a general notion that before the law, each and everyone is equal. Law protects each and every citizen, like that. So this popular notion is what you say, crushed by the dramatists in the story, and the dramatist successfully displays shows that uh, a court also gives a very complex judgment in the sense that court does not treat each and every citizen equally, right? So court, the judicial system, is just for the benefit of the high class people and not for the poor and the masses, right? So these are the popular notions discussed by the dramatists on the stage. Next name comes after John Galsworthy, that is Harley, Granville, and Barker. And they created the plays like the Manning of Anne Leach, next is West, the Madras House, and the Boise Inheritance. The last name to quote Burr was his finest achievements and one of the best and richest plays of modern times. But we can say that if there is discussion of problem play, so we just have the three important names, that is Ibsen, second is G.P. Shaw, and next is John Galsworthy. So these three notable problem play dramatists change the concept of the drama totally, right? So this is the discussion of the problem play. I feel that you might have understood the concept of problem play in a good way. Thank you very much for joining. Let's stop over here.